All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Every Strand Counts with me, your host, Dana Wilson. And today's topic is tax ready entrepreneurs, which features Miss Hope Brown. She is a tax strategist and a certified bookkeeper. So we'll be getting started here shortly. So please share with many others so they can partake in what we're discussing today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
In audio.
All right. Welcome. Every Strand Counts with me, Dana Wilson, is brought to you by Hair Cares Inc., where we believe that every root, every lesson, every experience, and every legacy makes a difference in our lives. And so we feature conversations with various leaders, authors, speakers, entrepreneurs who long to touch, move, and inspire others through their work. And today, our topic is tax ready entrepreneurs. And I'm so excited. We have our guest, Hope Brown. She is an entrepreneur, a mentor, an expert, and a speaker. And on a mission to help business owners become productive and succeed beyond their wildest dreams. She's a tax strategist, a certified bookkeeper, and she's a successful business owner in her own right as well. So let's bring Miss Hope to the stage. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Great. Thank you for being here, Miss Brown. Thank you so much. I know you're busy like all of us entrepreneurs, especially with the end of the year coming so fast, right? Look, this thing is like lightning speed right now, okay?
Yeah, this is kind of like what I like to call our Super Bowl time of the year.
Oh, yeah, that's
We about to go for it.
okay. But Hope, please, I
Yes.
know I share with the audience a little bit about you, but if you don't mind sharing more so that they can get to know who we're speaking to here today.
Okay, absolutely. So, hello, everybody. My name is Hope Brown. So, I'm founder and owner of the Tax Minded Bookkeeper. So, we're a specialized boutique accounting firm that offers management accounting, CFO services, tax strategy solutions. And we're launching a program next month where we'll be helping CEOs kind of do it kind of like a DIY bookkeeping type
Okay.
situation just to help them through. But just a little bit about me.
Okay. Wow. So how did you get in this space? Because nobody just wakes up and say, okay, I want to deal with the money. So how did you get into this space?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have to go way, way back.
Okay.
Meaning, I come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So, grew up in Washington, D.C. My dad owned his own home improvement business company. And I just used to love hanging out with him as a little girl, just learning and watching him kind of operate the business, as far as dealing with customers, employees, and things like that. I love that part. But the part I didn't love was seeing behind the scenes and the financial struggles,
Okay.
meaning the management of the finances were kind of lacking. And I just knew one day I was going to grow up and have a business, but I didn't want to have any kind of financial issue. Like, so some people, what they say from childhood trauma, they drink or do drugs. Like I ended up getting 3 master degrees, in
Okay.
finance. So a little bit about how I got started.
Okay, so you majored in finance. You knew exactly what you wanted to do.
Yes, exactly. So everything with me is business management, those type of, anything that's related to a business and running a business and the financial part, like that's my jam. And I initially started as a tax professional,
Okay.
and it just kind of segued into me helping, really seeing even more, like remembering when I was a young kid, watching my parents struggle. I started meeting more and more business owners they were killing it in their game, but the
Yeah.
financial part, not so much. So one client started with 2, 3, and now it's just kind of grown into what it is today.
So do you have the ability to break the I don't know, I guess the tax don't that code into layman's terms or something like
Yeah.
tell me about this gift because
Well, yes. So I'm told. I don't want to say that,
I
but
mean
I'm told
listen,
by my
listen,
clients.
let's own the gift. Let's own the gift. Tell
Yes,
me.
yes. So I'm told by my clients that working with me is kind of like a breath of fresh air for them because I'm able to kind of take and break down into layman's terms. Well, number one, I'm making the time to talk with them and educate them. The
Okay.
financial literacy piece is so important to me. And, because think about it from a US taxpayer standpoint, when you sign that return, you're basically, we have to get paperwork from you that says that you acknowledge and understand what's in that return that we're filing on your behalf. So I take that kind of seriously. I mean, so I want to make sure that as a client, my business clients, my individual clients, they understand what we're signing before we sign it. Like, what's the strategy? They should have a general idea and feel good about that before we move forward.
Hmm. Well, can you give us an idea of what a strategy could look like? I mean, because I heard you just say a strategy around it. Like,
Mhm.
give me a sense of what that looks like.
Yeah. So, a strategy at a basic level for
Hmm.
our clients, we try to first and foremost get them into some form of bookkeeping. All right. Record keeping is actually part of a requirement by the IRS when you run a small business. You are supposed to be having records, financial records, because think about it. That information is going to probably eventually be used to create a tax return on your behalf. So we want to make sure that everything is accurate and being accounted for in case the IRS wants to come back and ask questions later,
Got it.
i.e., audit. You
Yeah.
want to make sure that everything is going. But that would be the first thing that I would work with a client on is just making sure that their record keeping is up to par with tracking income, expenses. But that gives us something to look at during the year to actually say, like, okay, you know what, these are areas maybe that we can do tax strategy in. You can save on this, you can know what your deductions are or aren't. Having that financial information is just helping you during the year be ready, before the end of the year when the tax season comes for sure.
Got it. So take me to through a client journey. So I contact you and
Mhm.
then what? What do we do?
Yeah. So if you're a business owner and
Hmm.
you call me up, you're like, you know what, Hope, I need help planning for the taxes at the end of the year. Usually, we're going to have a discovery call where I'm going to find out a couple of things about how you operate your business, whether you have record keeping, whether that's something that we can work together to get set up for you so that you not only have your information ready at the end of the year, but there's something called estimated tax payments.
Right.
So we gotta track those kind of things during the year, but we make sure the bookkeeping's set up. We make sure we're meeting monthly. We make sure that your bookkeeping is being done in a timely fashion, whether you're doing it yourself or we're doing it for you. But
Okay.
just sitting down and having that right information to be able to do some type of tax analysis or tax planning for you that make sure you're maximizing your savings at the tax table.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
So what are some things you think that an entrepreneur should have ready when I guess when they even talk to you? Like what should they have prepared to make it be for an easy
Yeah.
conversation?
So, I mean, I try to give my clients grace because think about it. Um, Preparing their taxes is something they probably do once per year. So,
Mhm.
it can be kind of stressful for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're coming in. What is the normal stuff that I want them to have is we've got to talk about some type of method that you've used to mark to be able to track properly your income and your expenses that were done during the year.
Right.
So bookkeeping is like a dream for a tax person. I'm probably gonna like tear up a little bit if you come in with perfect bookkeeping. If you don't have perfect bookkeeping, that's the first thing that we have to work on because think about it. Garbage in is garbage out. So,
Yeah.
if your financial stuff is all jammed up, And we're talking about the expenses being ordinary and necessary for the business, not exaggerated or anything like that, or made up at the last minute. And then also the income, tracking, something that we can compare. Because even if you're getting tax forms, it's always good to kind of know for yourself
Right.
how much money you made, so that, believe me, some of these merchant processors can make mistakes. Like, we've caught them before and
Okay.
had to go back and correct. But just having your income and expenses ready for your business, having your tax forms that you've received, preferably if you have had contractors or 1099, having those W-9 documents on file so that in January we can send out 1099 NECs if we need to. Just really being prepared with the right information is going to make our experience working together a lot smoother.
I see. Wow. Wow.
I know.
I
But
mean, no, it can absolutely, that money stuff is stressful. Okay.
yeah.
Although you're working really, really hard, I mean, for whatever reason, that money is like, that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's good to have the right people around you. Like, for example, if I needed to do something related to, like what you do, I think it's absolutely incredible. If they came to see me for that, like, we would probably be watching YouTube videos trying to figure out what like natural, we would be winging it basically.
Yeah.
But because that's not my area. But
Right.
you would, you're trained, of course, and you
Right.
could guide them right through it. But you got to think about it like that. Which kind of makes me think of something else. A lot of times, especially with new business clients that I meet, like, you got to understand that some of these people who I'm working with, they're very well respected, in the community.
Right.
They've grown this business, so sometimes it can be a little embarrassment or shame
Yeah.
when the financial records haven't been kept like 100, and I'm just being honest with you. So you definitely want to be working with someone who's going to make you, feel comfortable and,
Mm,
is approachable, so that's another reason why a lot of my clients have said they enjoy working with me too. Like,
okay.
I'm not judging you. Like, we're just going to get you back on the right track,
Got it. That's perfect.
important.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. I love that. So I mean, because obviously, I mean, you have a passion for these numbers, right? Watching your family and everything. But what is the reward for you when working with entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think it's like therapy for me almost
Oh,
because for one, um, I get to meet and work with so many wonderful individuals, from service-based business owners. I have some social media influencers I work with,
okay.
to, mental health professional, but the one goal is, small businesses, they're like the backbone of what this country is built on. Like,
Right.
really, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we're providing so many different services that, you just see me, but if I'm doing good, I'm able to impact so many other people, families, people can eat when their business is operating correctly. So
You're
they
right.
they can pay their rent, their mortgage, and things like that. But if I can contribute towards that success for people, that's a great feeling. That's a
That's
great feeling.
I love it. All right, we're gonna go on a commercial break really quickly, and we'll be right back. Imagine having encouraging support, accountability partner, and strategic planning to create your next level of natural freedom. Here at Hair Cares Inc., we empower audacious women with the understanding that every strand counts. By piecing mind, body, and spirit components together that result in scalp rejuvenation, hair regeneration, and a growing, sustainable, thriving Sister Locks business. We provide in-person and virtual hair growth services, Sister Locks business consulting, personal coaching, and mentorship. We believe that every strand counts. Every root, every lesson, every experience, and every legacy makes a difference in our lives. We are proud to encourage holistic living and full self-expression through hair advocacy, training, coaching, consulting, books, and our show, Every Strand Counts. I'm Dana Wilson, the CEO and Director of Hair Cares Inc. All right, all right. Hope, tell me, you shared something about you're going to be doing something in January
Okay.
with entrepreneurs. Please share with us about that.
Yeah, so we're really excited. So actually it started like the kickoff day is tomorrow.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, so in December we started it because this is kind of like this time of the year that business owners really need to they need help, between now and the time they actually meet with their preparer with getting that financial piece right.
okay,
So in my practice in the last couple of years, I've accumulated clients where we come in and do the financial management part, i.e. bookkeeping, monthly, quarterly or whatever that need is. We're meeting that need. But I would always meet business owners who were not quite at the point of either A, needing a dedicated full-time bookkeeper coming in every month to do bookkeeping, or B, they just hadn't grown their business to a point yet of where they could afford to have that kind of person come in, even on a contracting basis.
okay,
So we're launching the CEO Tax Minded Bookkeeper bookkeeping support community.
okay,
And it's a monthly membership where business owners can come in who are doing their own QuickBooks online bookkeeping, who need someone to help them understand how to properly navigate this tax, journey. Um,
okay.
i.e. take deductions right during the year so they don't, they stay out of trouble. But we're launching that membership program. We did a soft launch over Black Friday, and
Yeah,
it's been really well received. People are like, they were waiting for it. They were like, thank you. Finally, we can get some help that we need.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, where can we go? I have your, let me see. I have your website right here. Hopefully I have it right. Is
Yes,
this
you do.
where they can go to sign up for this?
Yes. So there will be an option on the top menu, membership, and that form will take you right there.
Perfect. I love that whole so it's like a monthly membership. They can go and they learning different things about how to get ready.
Yeah, so the membership will have 2 tiers. So the first is more of a you're in the private community, you're able to be present for the lives and things like that, the training I'm doing. So those kind of trainings will be like how to set up QuickBooks,
Yeah.
how to actually do the categorization, how to do reconciling. What's that? Things, and then from a tax perspective too, coming in and being ready for your preparer before that time comes, but that virtual part is set at $44.99 per month.
Okay.
And now I had some customers reach out to me, and this is kind of inspired the next level, the more VIP level. And they were like, Hope, that virtual thing is going to be kind of cute, but I'm going to need to work with you one on one.
Just tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah, tell the truth. I was like, okay, no problem. So people who purchase that top level, you get all those other interactions with me, the lives, the Q&A sessions, but you also get a dedicated time with me every month that you schedule so that we can get in your books. Sometimes you don't want all your business on blast.
Right.
You
Right.
want to talk to someone directly about the tax questions you have or bookkeeping questions. So, but both of those tiers will be available, like they're available now, and
Perfect.
people are coming in, and so far so good. So it's been pretty good feedback.
Do you advise people to handle their own money? I mean, I know you have, I mean, obviously you
Yeah.
have these programs and stuff set up. So
Yeah.
um you feel confident that people can do it, you know?
Yeah. So I think with some guidance, you I go back to like what we're all doing in our businesses. Like I could come into you, Dana, and I
Hmm.
could get some coaching, I could be a client of yours. And in between visits, you're telling me how to take care of my scalp, my
Hmm.
hair, all of these different things with the regimen, the vitamin regimen.
Right.
But you still kind of got your hands on me a little bit, giving me guidance. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's the same idea. I see a lot of people who really wing it on their own. And I know people are trying to save money, but I've seen people actually maybe they're underreporting. They don't know about all the things they can write off, for example,
Okay.
and they're missing opportunities to actually like minimize their taxes or things they're not thinking about. Like I worked with a client last year who they want to buy a house. Him and his wife wanted to buy a house this year. So we were talking at the tax table about like, okay, what do you want to do next year? What in your personal side and the business side? And when he said that, I can tell you when you're talking to us in tax season, we're trying to minimize your taxes legally. Okay. But
Got
if
it.
we're having conversations with you after I talked to him, it was like, listen, we don't need to minimize your income because I mean, yeah, you could get the tax savings, but you're not going to be able to qualify for a home loan. If you're,
Okay.
so just thinking through things like that, having those conversations, I think it's not going to hurt you if you can work with a tax professional and definitely a bookkeeping professional to really help you set those books up because that's the other kind of like pitfall I see for people who are DIY and
Hmm.
never have anybody look at those books. Normally, at some point, the rubber's going to hit the road where you're going to have to get what's known as a cleanup, and those are super expensive,
I
or
see.
risk, improperly reporting that information to the IRS, which is that's going to set you up too.
Right, right. Wow. So I know obviously I mean everything is around everything we do. At least for myself, I noticed that, you really have to spend a lot of time with working with clients on their mindset
Yes.
first, on the first.
Yes.
So what are some common mindsets that people walk in the door when they come to you with around money?
Yeah, so that's a really deep question.
Yeah.
So even with me myself, growing up the way I did, my mindset affects like, okay, I have to stay on top of my numbers. Maybe I'm a little bit more tighter with spending and things like that.
Okay.
Like, I think I don't know if it's actually a quote or where I read it, but they said the first step to resolving a problem is realizing that you have one. Like being honest.
That is the truth.
So I talk about that with clients because a lot of them are bringing these backgrounds, and 9 out of 10, if you had issues with money, handling money in your personal life, you're bringing those same habits over into the business part.
Mhm.
So, but it's so much other impact on a negative perspective if we don't go back and we talk about those things. So I have I mean, of course I'm not like a mindset coach or whatever,
Right.
but I do have people I refer people out to,
Okay.
we'll
Oh,
talk about that and we'll talk about, okay, so what is preventing you from developing good financial habits in your business? Like, regardless of the QuickBooks subscription, regardless of me being here to support you through the journey, sometimes people, it just doesn't click for them.
right.
And those are the people that I might be like, like, let's talk about this. And maybe there's some other steps, even outside of what I'm doing, that it could help you kind of be aware of what you're doing and be a little bit more proactive with managing your money.
Mhm. No, I'm glad you said that you're connected or affiliated with people you can refer them to because it's true. Money is huge part of
Mhm.
life, and if you're having issues in that area, I guess with your mindset, I mean, it will impact everything for sure.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's
Oh,
it's like a domino effect like anything else, so
yeah,
and it's better to acknowledge it and just kinda see where we are, it doesn't mean that something's wrong, it's
right.
just like getting the help that you need, getting the
Mhm.
help that you need, so
Yeah, I was telling a friend the other day, a lot of things we know we don't know, and there's some things we don't know, right? Like that's your blind spot.
yeah,
And it takes
yeah.
sometimes for a professional to kind of, help you with that.
I think so. I mean, so even at the firm, we're doing kind of like a checkpoint kind of analysis of people financial. So I do have some clients, they'll come to me once a year. They have been doing their own financial management and bookkeeping, but we just kind of do take some time to go through their books before they take that information to the tax preparer, then
Okay.
make sure like, okay, this actually makes sense.
Okay.
So
Okay.
even if you're not doing anything but that once a year, because those financials are going to be used for taxes. So I can't say that enough. I mean, it's one thing to get the financials wrong and not have proactively be creating data that you can use during the year to make decisions with. So if you're doing bookkeeping, you can look in July and see like, okay, that's an up month for me. I tried to do some new services, products that's working, or maybe it's not, but you still have time during the year to look at the numbers and analyze, okay, what's not working or what you need to do more of that is working. But
Okay.
at the end of the year, if that stuff was all it was just jacked up, right? That
Mm-hmm.
information is going to go into your return. And sometimes as professionals, we have what's known as our due diligence requirements. But a lot of firms will have you just basically sign in the engagement letter that releasing them of any kind of liability to say that, okay, you provided us this information, we're relying on you to make sure that it is accurate,
Correct.
unless it's just blatant, you know. So, but I hope that that makes sense. Like
Yes.
it all comes back to you
Yeah,
at some point. You want it
right.
to be right.
Right. Let me ask you something else about your membership. Can a person jump in at any time, or is it like a 1 year endeavor? What does that look like?
Yeah. So we're keeping the membership terms pretty flexible. So
Okay.
you can come in at any point and you can cancel at any point. So it's basically month to month.
Okay.
Now, what we are doing with the launch, I am limited it to a certain number of people, and we're at about 70% of that cap right now.
Okay.
And I think what I'm going to do is probably opening it up seasonal. But,
Okay.
for the most part, we created a waiting list for individuals who were interested,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as those gates opened, they were notified and they jumped right in.
Okay.
So I think quarterly we'll be letting a certain amount of people in. Still got, seats open now if anybody's interested.
Yeah, let me put your website up there again, you guys. If you want to reach Hope, here's her website is
Mhm,
bbizsolutions.com, and you can go there and sign up for her membership, or just learn about more about Hope and what she offers
mhm.
as well.
Yep.
Great. So, Hope, can you leave us something with the audience? Maybe a couple of tips about being ready. Whatever you want to share, it'd be great.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah. So let's talk about this for a second.
Mhm.
So we definitely talked about the accounting part.
Yes.
Like, so we're in December.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking at your bookkeeping now, or however you're keeping your records, and they haven't been touched since like June or July,
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I understand.
Okay. So just make sure that your accounting is actually up to date at this point. Another tip that I'll give you as far as contractors, if
Mhm.
you have paid contractors during the year, like please make sure you have a updated W-9 on file for that individual.
Okay.
So that if there's a requirement in January, well, regardless if there's a requirement, if you get audited, you just want to be able to have like a W-9 on file to match whatever payments and things like that for the individual, just to be able to create the paper trail, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Um, and I'll give you like one last tip. I don't want to take too much time,
All
but
right. We're
okay,
we're loving it. We
okay,
have no constraints here. Go
okay.
ahead.
So something else that I would consider doing is do an analysis like this time of year. And what I mean by that is, so I have some business owners I'm working with. We're doing an expense analysis, which just simply means we're taking a walk through the year at of the list of all the expenses that you have paid money out on. And that could be something that's easily generated in QuickBooks. And the purpose of that is we're trying to see like what we're not going to be using going forward. Like, what can we cut the fat? How
Right.
many times have you, I might be dating myself, but back in the day, AOL had this like internet plan and they would get you in there. Don't agree, Data. You don't want anybody to know if you
Right. I'm trying to hold myself here.
okay. But all of a sudden, 3 years later, you were like, wait a minute, they were billing me 19.99 per month, and I had totally forgot about them. So don't do that. Don't let that be. This is
No,
just
I'm glad you're saying that, Hope, because it's so many
yes.
platforms out here, programs, this,
Yep.
that, and the third. And a lot of times I mean, I know for myself, they have these 14-day free
Deals.
trial, free trial, then they start billing you. You didn't forgot about that thing, so that's
It
a
hurts.
perfect idea.
It hurts. And the other part of that too is, those annual renewals, that's hit even me recently, where I looked at my business credit card and it was a
Mhm.
couple of 250, 350 charges on there.
Yeah.
And it was like, the Zoom annual renewal or the
Mhm.
Calendly annual renewal.
Yeah.
So I really like to create kind of like a schedule of those software renewals, just so you'll be in the ballpark of,
Right.
so overall, just reviewing the financials, but definitely those expenses to make sure if there's areas that we can cut the fat, that we are cutting the fat.
Right.
I'm trying to think another one. Definitely if you're in the area of doing like billing, account
Mhm.
payables or account receivables, this
Uh-huh.
is a good time to look at that and just make sure, okay, for the receivables, are there any outstanding ones? Can we make it easier for the person or the company to pay those if there are outstanding ones? So like a perfect example of that is, sometimes with those cleanups, they can be a little hefty on our end as far as the pricing. So we
But what do
started.
you mean by that when you say cleanups? What do
Mhm.
you actually mean?
Oh, yeah. Are you ready for this one? So, in bookkeeping, a lot of times when you have business owners who have been managing their own books, okay? And especially, so what happens is they may get to a point of where maybe they're trying to apply for a business loan or some other like entity, financial entity that, has looked at those financials and said, all right, we cannot use these. You're going to have to go back and get someone to correct your financial statement. Normally, those financial reports being messed up like that are indicative of issues in your bookkeeping software like QuickBooks.
Okay.
And it's probably been somebody who's been maintaining those books for you. I'm not going to say no names, but
Mhm.
who didn't know what they were doing or whatever. So now you got to get everything cleaned up per se.
Okay.
Okay. So, but those
Mhm.
cleanups can be super expensive. So
Okay.
the one things we've started doing, like I just ran a Black Friday special. I did a Cyber Monday special. I've never done like the Affirm or other payments before, but I
Mhm.
started to offer that, for account receivables, and people love that stuff. So,
Okay.
it's an easier way for them to be able to manage the payments.
Okay.
So, looking at your financials as you're going into the end of the year like that, your account receivables, it's good to see what's been working or what hasn't been working. And for the things that haven't been working, try to come up with creative solutions to make it easier for people to pay you. That's always a winner.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So listen, everybody, please go to Hope's website. This sounds like a great program here.
Uh-oh. So, come on, Dave.
Right, right. This sounds like a great program. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for services, you might want to go check Hope out and
Yeah.
see. Perfect.
One, no business owner left behind is my motto. So,
Okay, okay. I love it. I love it. But
yes,
thank you so much, Hope. I appreciate your time. And I wish you good luck in all your endeavors here too.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Thank you so much. I'll have to have you back again, maybe mid-year. Okay. So when people need to do a assessment again,
Yeah.
right?
It's called accountability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody needs accountability. So
Absolutely, and
thank you
that's a good time. It's still time before December, you still got time to get it right, so
yeah,
let
yeah,
me know when, we'll work it out.
yeah. Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Alright,
All right. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
thank you so much.
Bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, you learned some things. And please contact Hope if you're interested in any of her services. Please stay connected with me. Go to my website, haircaresinc.com. You can check out all my offers there and stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.